high noon?
Yep, high noon tonight, actually. I had a leftover one from a cookout a week or two ago in the fridge. But Rangers... what'd you say?
It's cookout season. It's football season.
Yeah, man.
It is. Oof.
We were just talking about fantasy football while we were getting set up and stuff. Travion Henderson, everybody. All right.
Chili season, too.
Yes, I love chili so much. All right. Now, so this isn't turned into a food podcast and football podcast. A Rangers sit-down number 2. You know, we've known Josh for a very long time. Been great at Cavaliers since he's been there. You know, does the Rhythm X thing, but just been looking forward to sitting down and talking to you, Josh, about the progression of the season. Because there were a few groups this year, from our perspective, that came out good, but really progressed throughout the season and had an awesome product at the end of the summer. And you all were one of them, and it was just super fun to watch the journey throughout the thing. I was talking to Adam Norris a little bit throughout the season, you know, getting what inside baseball he would give me. He can be tight-lipped, but yeah, Evan, I'll let you kind of hop in.
Yeah, I mean, I guess before we get too far into it, do we do the spiel and just get it out of the way?
Oh, yeah, I'll just go ahead and do it. Welcome, everyone, to the Aged Out Podcast. We're the two hosts, Michael Fantini and
Evan Worrell.
Short and sweet. Comment, like, subscribe. Check it out on YouTube if you're on podcast services. All the links to support us in whatever way you want are in the video description. You know, Patreon, agedoutpodcast.com, all that good stuff. Aged Out Fundamentals, drum every day. Those play-along tracks will help your hands and consistency. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Josh is a big Ohio State fan, so we were talking about that game this weekend, the Texas game, so that'll be a big one. But yeah, obviously congratulations on the summer, and also congratulations to you on getting offered the arranging gig for the Battery. Tell us a little bit about that, just, you know, stepping into the new role, excitement, anxiety, stress, elation, just whatever gambit of emotions.
Yes.
It was all of those things. First of all, thank you. It was definitely fun. You know, all of those emotions were involved. A lot of anxiety, a lot of pressure, but you know, it was kind of like a childhood dream. You know, like when I learned about. I first started getting involved in drum lines and being in them. You know, I was the kid that got in trouble in school because I was like writing cadences on sheet paper instead of paying attention to class. So like writing has always been a huge goal of mine, but it's something that I've really loved doing. So I was super excited to be offered the opportunity to take over. You know, with that, there was a lot of pressure. I mean, if you go just the recent history of people that have written the Battery books at Cavaliers, I mean, there's some absolute legends on that list. I mean, Mike McIntosh, and then before that it was Jim Casella, then it was Brett Kuhn, then it was Jim Campbell. I mean, you know, stepping into that role was no, you know, regardless of where the drum corps was competitively, I mean, stepping into those shoes is a lot of pressure. So it was a fun challenge, and you know, something I'm excited to continue on and keep building.
Yeah, and obviously I think too, just like there's probably a lot of kids that are kind of like, oh, like, how's this going to be? What's it going to look like? Like, what is Josh Brickey's writing for the Cavaliers going to sound like? What kind of notes is Josh going to write? And I know you help out with the arranging and dabble in Rhythm X and stuff too, but it's almost like a different thing too in my head, like what arrangers do for indoor versus what they do for outdoor, just because of the responsibility of the Battery for the ensemble is drastically different. So like finding your own voice, what was kind of in that? Were you relying on influences from people who you taught, or just digging back through Cavaliers lore, as I say?
Yeah. Well, I think you trust a lot of the people that were heavy influences on you. So, you know, drum lines that I was in, music that I played, you know, before doing any of this, I was just a big fan. You know, I was the kid that learned every cadet snare break you could find. So I'm heavily influenced by the people that I grew up being a fan of. Mm-hmm. So, you know, when you listen to my writing, you could probably pick out some things like, oh, that sounds a little bit like Tom Ungst. You know, I think you can find those things. You know, I was, from my time at Crown and the short time I got to learn from Paul, I was a big fan of all of Paul's books. I mean, I was another one that his years at Phantom, and I was trying to learn all the licks. So there's moments you'll hear things like, oh, that kind of sounds like that. I love Jim Casella's books. So as you'll like finding those influences and you'll find them in my writing for sure. But a lot of times it was just writing the things that I want to write and kind of having no fear about how that sounds at first. It's tough. Like when you're writing something, especially at this level, your immediate concern is what are people going to think of it. So you start to mess with it as opposed to just being like, no, this is what I want to hear. This is me. This is what my ears want to hear during this part. So I think trusting your influences and trusting your kind of musical instinct, like this is what I want to hear right here, and it is probably right.
Good. It makes total sense, and I still have some of the licks that I actually wrote down in high school, and you can definitely tell what licks I was learning
at the time.
Bunch of paradiddles and grandmas. Like I was probably
playing a lot of cadets
licks, and then there's like some upbeat 5. It's like I was probably playing some Phantom 06 licks or something. But that's cool to hear. And then you kind of had the opportunity to form your team. Well, you and Lee Allman, obviously another huge part of the percussion program, right in the front ensemble. Had you and Lee written together before?
Yeah, we have, but nothing near this level.
Right.
But so it felt like a brand new project. It felt like a brand new team. We'd written together before, but it's been a couple years, and he's such a great guy to write with. He's super smart. I mean, his writing's incredible, but I mean, just look at the groups he writes for already. I mean, his work was very easy to write to, and and writing with Jay Bocook was an experience. I mean, like a living legend, and his music is so easy to write to. It's great.
Actually, was he in the lot with this video? Is this the one he came and he was just like...
He just came to hype up the Drumline.
Yeah,
he was just walking around the lot. Yeah.
Let me ask a question real quick. You mentioned it was easy to write to Lee's front book. Was it more back and forth? Were sections that you, and I asked Joe Hobbs the same question, did you write some stuff first and he wrote front to it? Or was it a lot of front first, then you would add on top?
It went back and forth.
Okay.
I'd say most of the time it would go Jay, Lee, me.
Gotcha.
With Kevin in between all of that stuff. And, honestly, Kevin mapped out a lot of stuff first, but there were definitely spots.
You're talking about Kevin Shaw, right?
Kevin Shaw, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was our music coordinator. But there were quite a few moments where I said, hey, Lee, I got an idea. I know what I want this to be. And I would go first and he would fill in. So there was a really good amount of back and forth. But I'd say most of the time we followed the pretty typical flow where Lee would sketch things out and then I would go and we'd fill in and go back and forth and edit and tweak and make it what it needs to be.
Cool.
Would Jay ever write cues for you and Lee, like a piano thing, or like, hey, just maybe something for the battery feel wise, like here's this like ostinato thing, or I know sometimes when Brass Rangers.
Between him and Kevin, they would, Kevin does a great job. He's so organized. He would kind of put a little flow, and he's a talented musician for one, but he's a front ensemble guy. So he's kind of able to like, hey, I just sketched this out real quick. This is what I was thinking, or here's an idea that I had, and then him and Lee would go back and forth and figure that out. So but there was plenty of kind of groundwork put in place for all of us.
Did Kevin march bass drum? I feel like I remember hearing that. So he does have that kind of foundation or knowledge in there too. Yeah, I never knew that for a long time.
Went to Juilliard for music. I mean,
wow, did not know that.
Yeah, he did that. Yeah, he was a bass drummer at Vanguard.
Okay,
no big deal.
Yeah.
I did over 1,000. I don't know if you heard me.
Yeah, he's that guy knows more about music than I ever will.
Crazy.
And then a lot of the staff, I guess, too, carried over from years and years. I know there was like a shift in like the arranging, but a lot of the tech staff, caption heads, that stuff kind of stuck pretty similar.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. I've got a great team.
Yeah.
All of our success as a program is so much credit goes to everybody that's on the team. Luckily what we have a really good connection and relationship with Rhythm X. So almost all of us teach together year round. We take a couple weeks off after the summer and a couple weeks off after the winter season, but we're teaching together constantly. So there's such a connected energy between everybody. But I mean, the team I have is incredible. From, I'm not going to go down the list of names because I'll probably forget somebody and feel bad. But there's like, I couldn't do it without, the Russell Whartons of the world, Lane Summerlin, the Summerlin family. They're a family now, with a tribe. Adam Norris. I mean, like Adam Norris, like knows what's bothering me before I know what's bothering me sometimes.
Sounds like Adam.
Yeah, I mean, that's just because we've been teaching together at Rhythm X and now Cavaliers since 2013. Like he knows what I expect, and I know what he's going to do, and that's the team is everything, and those, I'm surrounded by an amazing team.
The benefit of that level of consistency from a staff culture and staff approach and familiarity standpoint cannot be overstated. Like, it's such a massive advantage in this world that we are obsessed with and live in and stuff. It's crazy. And I think it shows with the consistency that the group puts out at the end of the season in terms of approach to the instrument is always uniform, because the staff coming on and off the road is all so much on the same page. The information is consistent regardless of who's in front of them. So, and you're one of the groups that I feel like exemplifies that consistency across the entire ensemble in terms of approach, demeanor, vibe, all of it.
Yeah. Well, that's a big focus for us, and that's a goal that we set forth when we're talking about who's on the team and all that stuff. And they're also, all those guys, everybody that teaches, like there's no ego. It's best idea wins. The group always comes first. Like that's, there's no egos, and if there ever is any, then we got to deal with it. But it gets handled pretty quickly. But I mean, they're all just great teachers, and they're easy people to have on the road. I'm never worried about any of the shenanigans or anything that goes on. Like, they're all just professional adults, and they teach like their hair's on fire every day. It's great.
Awesome.
Speaking of the best idea wins, were there like moments throughout that maybe we'll obviously watch it, where you just like kind of hand the ball off, like you write it, you sketch it out, you're like, hey, this is the idea, but like, what do you think? Or like, take it and run with it to like Adam or Russell or whoever.
100%. Yeah. I mean, my biggest fear in taking on this job for my first year was don't fail. Like that was like my biggest fear was going to be failing.
It's a good goal.
So, because I think getting the job is hard.
Yeah.
Keeping the job is harder. So something that I would always like, bass drum, I have an idea for a bass drum thing. I would send it to Russell. Like, hey, I think this is cool. Is this cool? This sounds cool to me, but in the bass drum world, are you guys going to laugh at this? Quad rounds. I mean, I think I had Adam look at every single quad round that was written. Cause the quad drummers out there, you guys are crazy. There's all these little nuanced rules. And, you never do this, but you can always do this, but only if you do this first. Like, there's all these like weird little things that I don't know about. So I write what I think, feels good to me to play, and then I'll send it to Adam. Like, hey, I need you to proofread this and make sure
Keep
it's
me
okay.
honest.
Right. Or like there was a quad break moment that I showed to Will, our section leader. I just like showed him the Sibelius file. I was like, hey, do you like this?
Is this cool?
Yeah. I mean, I'm certainly not at a point where I'm like afraid to ask people their advice before I send it out.
That was with quads too. It's like, it sounds cool, but like it doesn't look cool. So can we make it look cool too?
Dude, they're a weird breed, man.
So many layers. Well,
there's like
to sign up to carry those things all summer, you have to be an odd breed and off your rocker a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, even with like bass drumming, how there's so much like vocabulary and like things that people call bass drum lasers, buckets, blah blah blah, game cubes. Like now the quads have had those for a while too. Like there's just like patterns. It's like, oh, it's the 7/8 pattern, or the 7,
right.
Whatever. So, but yeah.
All right. Before we jump in, one last question, unless you all have something else you want to bring up as well. Whose idea was the freaking unison triplet roll in the bass line at the end of the feature?
That was me.
Okay. Because that is
probably
probably...
the beginning.
It was there in Muncie. I remember walking up with Adam, and you were just like, There's a unison triplet roll. I was like, I went over and watched it. I was like, what? I've never seen a bass... I'm sure it's been done at some point, but I was just like, wow. I never thought that would be something you could write in a bass solo. Like, it was unique, different.
I've got a couple ideas that I've been storing away. But it's because like bass drumming stuff, like the splits, the players are so talented now.
Mm-hmm.
They can split anything.
Yeah.
But to me, sometimes the splits get so complicated and detailed, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Same.
So like they play and I'm like, that sounds crazy, but I don't know
what it was.
Right. So I was always thinking like, what's something that a bass drum line could do that would make me yell? And I was like, man, if they played a crescendo triplet roll from edge to center at like a fast speed, I've seen double strokes, but it's always slow, or it's the big horn hit with big just duple double strokes. Like I've never seen like an isolated triplet roll from edge to center clean. I was like, if they played that well, I would yell for it.
What is happening right now? We're flipping the universe on its head. Snare lines are playing 4 splits down the snare line, and bass lines are playing ripping unison triplet rolls. This is
what time to be alive.
2025,
the
everybody. All right, I'm going to switch the scene, and we can hop into this. All right. Oh, look, it's Josh watching Josh. Rbase311, everybody. Robert Martinez's YouTube channel. Go support, subscribe. He makes some of the best content out there on the internet every season, along with everybody else that does this as well, that allows us to take this in, appreciate it, support it, go subscribe to their stuff, more importantly than even subscribing to our stuff. All right, let's jump in. You can let it go ahead.
The last video I gave Robert the rock star, and like my Discord like freaked out, so I don't know if it's I don't know
what happened last time. That was weird. Discord will do weird things if you make hand gestures, and it's wild.
I'm just gonna keep my hands right here.
Yeah. If you want us to pause to talk about any moment or anything like that, just say so. We'll just kind of go through it and see where it takes us.
Cool. Boom.
In control right now. It's great. 12, all the way through part 1.
The mitts.
The clap. Good threes. Great move into the tap fives at the end of the roll, too.
Like the Cavaliers Drumline has like a stash of stick visuals that they bring in.
Just pick from.
All right, opening statement. So, was there source material? I know you guys did a few original things between the team there as far as like sources material goes. Was that an original thing? What was the source material for that?
Yeah, we kind of weaved in and out of some stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's kind of the way you have to do things nowadays. Like you find good source material, and then you have to, kind of make everything work within the show. But for part 1, that was our 2025 Cavaliers. What do we want the world to see the first thing that we're doing? What's the go-to first thing? And it was one of those, that we already talked about ahead of time before we even wrote the music, that we knew the battery was going to be behind the horn line. Like our number one goal was that we want the horns to play and everybody go, oh, this is different. That was our number one goal. So, kind of the way we wrote that, the opening statement was, I knew the battery was going to be behind. So there's no, we didn't write anything too flashy in there till the end. But then the end, we come towards the front and you hear the density kind of picks up. But, it was just kind of cool. Like I was like, when we all sat down, we're like, okay, well, this is the first thing we say as a group. What do we want to say? What do we want it to be? And, the most important thing was I wanted for everybody when they saw the drum corps to go, oh, this is different. And hopefully the good kind of different, but oh, this is different.
Yeah, because a lot of shows now, they do have like almost like a slow burn build to like the first impact.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's always a ramp up. One thing I want to ask about too, something that always strikes me about your summer lines, and honestly Rhythm X too as well, obviously, but fundamentals seem to be just like you all play some of the best triplet rolls or the best sounding triplet rolls, especially tap fives and stuff. Are you guys hammering fundamentals all the way up through finals week? Like, is that just
every day?
Every day?
Yeah, every day. Yeah, I mean, it just works into our warm up program. Like we don't like our our warm-ups and our the way we approach technique and sound and the way we go about like how the drumline warms up. If you at the beginning of this video, you can watch us play exercises, but the exercises are they're like strength builders and they're speed builders and you know, they're things that make you not just warm up your hands, but they make you better. Like I think you can kind of you can do a couple things. There are exercises that develop skills. There are exercises that warm up your hands, and then there's like the etude
category,
like the fun bucket of stuff.
Right,
you know,
right.
You know, we tend to spend most of our time in the exercises that are developing and building your hands. Like they're not they kind of check both boxes where your hands get loose, but also they're things that apply directly to the book every day. So you know, we play something as simple as like you know we call it. I learned it as slow diddles, but everybody calls it gallop now.
Yep.
When I learned it, it was called slow diddles. You know, that's an exercise that, you know, gets your hands loose, but also set it at whatever tempos you want. And where we are allowed to kind of develop and, you know, work on the motions that we're playing, the way the stick's responding in the hands, the control, all that stuff. So we don't really ever warm up with anything that we can't also get better at whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
So for us, I mean, we play a lot of simple exercises, but the application of the exercise is what matters the most. So we're always playing things that are allowing us to get better at the same time.
So it's the idea. Go ahead.
I still to this day, like, I don't really play eights anymore. My go-to, like, and I know you guys do this, is just playing like Hug-a-Dicks variations.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the
wrist and finger.
Wrist and finger.
Those are the best.
Yep. So it just sounds like the overall approach is what the exercises, at least, that lead to that fundamental foundation to build everything off of is they allow you to focus on how you're doing it as opposed to what you are doing to build the strength and the skill set and the consistency at those foundational skill sets. Makes sense.
And
and we also try to keep it like, you know, my goal as a teacher is I need them to understand why we're playing this exercise and what their responsibility is. Hey, you should move this way. We talk so much about, you know, we always talk about drumming this way. You know, we're always talking about when the stick's moving towards the drum. Like we talk a lot about the sticks moving this way. Because that's where most of the mistakes are happening. You know, if people are prepping differently, the grip is wrong before they played the note. I mean, you name it. That's where all the mistakes are happening. So, like when we play like slow diddles, so that example, like we're talking a lot about trying to match the motions from player to player. Everybody's approaching the time in between the notes. You know, that we're trying to line up how we approach that, and that's a big way that we try to get clean. Is if we can get that unified, the rhythms get pretty close. It's hard to make big mistakes.
Yep. Makes perfect sense. All right, let's move on to the next chunk here.
I think you guys do like the dual rep, 2 reps of
We did 2 of everything. Yeah.
All right.
There's 2 of everything. Sticks down.
Robert's trying to film the quads and they just won't hit the drum.
The goal here is just make the horn line sound good. And it takes up density here. Coming to the front of the field.
Yeah, the bass vocabulary now is just bananas.
Oh, I love that left action on the quads that poked out there in the middle of that phrase.
Way to go, Cavaliers.
Top of
Yeah.
2 to 49. Top of 2 to 49.
And, you know, the 2025 season, you just keep letting it run, though.
Yeah, I'll let it go.
You know, that's the first thing, too, you think about, like, hey, this was our opening statement in the lot for just, like, what we're presenting ourselves as an ensemble. So, yeah, there's a lot of thought.
So there was the unison triplet roll, and I just noticed something I never noticed before in the middle of that phrase. A couple bars earlier, was there a unison roll for the top 2?
Top 2.
Was
Everyone
that like foreshadowing almost? Like
yeah, a little bit. You know, it's something I like to throw into like my bass writing, but that's a skill set that I want to see. I want to see bass lines do. I want to see them play rolls. I want to see them play. That's something that me and Russell always agreed on a lot is that, I think there are great bass drummers out there, and then there's also great percussionists who are great bass drummers.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference is their ability to play fundamental stuff. So if you watch us warm up and you watch the bass line, they play a lot of unison stuff. We play our flammed exercise, they play at unison. They have a unison response with everything, and we put a heavy emphasis on that. If you want to play bottom bass at Cavaliers, you're going to be playing a lot of unison stuff. So, get used to it.
You're not just going to be on the impacts.
Yeah, I mean, right. But like we take a lot of pride in that. They're great percussionists. They're great players. So yeah, that was something I threw in there, and unfortunately, most people missed it always.
Well, now hopefully they'll all know about it. I thought it was super cool.
Yeah.
It was the first time I noticed the top two playing the unison role like that.
Nice open cheeses.
It was an awkward tempo.
It was like 144, 152.
168. Close.
Samsonite.
Not even close, Evan. Not even close.
Doesn't feel like fast.
A little juiced up, maybe.
That's a tough rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Jump.
Yeah,
Pick it
The
up.
long space, the long float. Oh, the bass lead in right to the edge work.
This is hard to play.
Swiss Army? Is that what those chickens?
I left-hand Swiss.
I like the accented triplet roll. A couple of people did that this summer.
Yeah, this is a tough
that's
tempo
percussion
from a
break.
playing standpoint.
Yeah.
And writing
And
probably too.
the piece started at 168 and then it goes up to 180. So there's right after that's brass feature, and then we have the push to the end. So that beginning chunk, like, they just took a lot of control. And it was all pretty duple based with the brass parts. So there wasn't a lot of wiggle room to kind of move around. I had to be, find my spots and take advantage of the one count I have here or two counts I have here. But it was all pretty duple based. Which at 168 there's nothing that feels super great at that speed. It doesn't feel bad, but it doesn't. You just have those rudiments at those certain speeds that, man, you can just cook and they feel great.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little on the restricted side.
Well, you have to hold on more than you would naturally want to while playing certain things, but you also can't hold on too much or you're going to slow down and it affect the sound. And it's just a weird range to play a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yep. And
We had that section. No, go ahead.
We had that percussion break in the middle after that long strip roll and the buzzes. That was one of my favorite parts of the show. Something that we really wanted to do is we really wanted to have an extended moment where we played as a full percussion ensemble. So from the start of that big triplet roll all the way to the end of that percussion break where you have that split 16 on the triplet hand separated rolls. Up until the 4-count window the 4-measure window at the end of the battery, was the front ensemble plays the whole way. And that's something that we really wanted to have a moment where, the judge can sit far back and appreciate everything. And it wasn't like your classic, you've watched a lot of drum corps now, it's a lot of like front and snares for a really long time. And then it switches, But you don't see a lot of groups playing as a full ensemble.
Yeah, it's a good point.
And that's something that we really wanted to do.
Good point.
That section I was going to say, too, gave me some of those just 03 Casella vibes, almost the like kind of the trading, the Hockett stuff, and just the way the accents are laying over and stuff. He does a lot of, I feel like he used to do that with Vanguard and stuff, a lot of A-B stuff that just kind of was offset ostinatos, but.
And now we get it again.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that there's 2 reps because we can watch it, then we can talk about it, and then
yeah.
Same chunk, one more time. Same chunk.
Adam, the drums sound fine.
Same
Dude's
chunk.
always
It's
going
Jay.
to Jay. Yep. Jay's going to come check out the battery a lot.
I love that.
Oh, he's great.
Yep.
Every time.
The bass line was really good.
Yeah, they were impressive in Muncie from the start.
That cheese roll.
Yeah.
That go. It's a lot of space.
Huge
That was
slope.
used with the brass too.
The eighth note decrescendo on the bass line. It's so cool.
Yep. Love that. Yeah, this is full percussion ensemble all the way through.
Good control. Little plan, tap. Yeah, that kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, like right here, you gotta hold on, but you can't hold on too much, right in this hole.
Yep.
Base fish.
The old Don Warren.
52A to the end. 52A to the end.
Yeah.
Heavy, not hard, right?
Dude, I just imagine too, like people like that who have been around this activity for so long, the evolutions they've seen in the writing, and
Yeah.
wow. I like this.
Great
Pause real
interplay,
quick. We'll get
Marcus
it.
there.
We'll get it
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
but I just the individual responsibilities from each section to like commit to the tempo and the timing, and also like not get distracted the way that those rolls are bouncing back and forth, section to section.
Then there's like
Snares, quad,
isolated
snares,
fours
bass.
too,
Yeah.
going back and forth. The trade-off speeds
Yeah, the
up
double
at
stroke,
mid-phrase.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, and something to listen to the very beginning of that. Listen to the bass drums. So they're playing a consistent sextuplet all the way through. The snares and quads are lining up with, but they're doing an add-on hand-to-hand down the line. So like it starts at the top and it bleeds into the bottom. It's crazy difficult. And then the snares and quads, like their musical responsibilities, you got to find that and you got to line up your rhythms with what you hear the bass drums playing. This is insanely difficult to play as an ensemble.
Oh yeah, the bass line. Jesus.
Yep. And the 3-2-2-2s.
Deviled eggs.
Oh, the bass support on that roll was sick.
I guess it's like an extended deviled egg, though.
Yeah, kind of.
Correct myself. A lot of flams. I love the flam vocabulary.
Into that phrase in the bass line. Yeah, you all had one of the best bass lines of the summer, in my opinion.
Oh, without a doubt.
One
Yeah,
more
they were great.
Great job. Good.
They were good all season too.
Dude, I said that
like,
earlier.
spring training, like, oh, these guys
I'm
are
gonna
good.
point that out. I saw you all in Muncie the first time you were still in spring training technically when you all went and did that Muncie show.
Yeah, we went
and
back and did 4 more days of spring training.
I called Evan on the way home and I was like, their bass line's already like finals week good. Like it's insane, wild.
Yeah, that was a special group.
What's that?
I also love at the end of that phrase too. It's kind of like the before all the big, just like high extend stuff. The roll that they reach up, the pressure change in the hands to go after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is. You love threes, though. You've always loved threes.
I love threes. You're gonna be in my drum line. You're gonna play threes.
for that.
Yeah, quad players like a little bit of pain. I don't know.
You have to.
Right.
Well, even now too, like my match grip chops like suck. Well, they don't suck, but they're not as good.
Yeah.
They're not what they used to be.
Not what they used to be.
None of my chops are what they used to be. There were a few points in that phrase I noticed too, and it's one of my favorite gear shifts, like beat to beat, where there are a few single paradiddles right into a triplet roll. So you have that open 16th note, double right or double left, right into a 7-stroke. It's one of my favorite things. We had a few of them at Blue Coats in 2012, and they feel so good.
Yep. Big fan of that. A couple I find myself writing that a little too often. Like I'll have to kind of delete that a couple times. Just 16 note, and count 4.
Mm-hmm.
I write that a lot. The other thing I like to write is left hand low 7 strokes into a low paradiddle, all 6 tuplet.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I write that out. It's just one of my favorite things to play in the entire world.
It's so funny how I feel like every drummer has their couple things that feel the best to them or make the most sense to their brain, or it's just everyone's different too. Everybody has their thing, which is cool.
Yep.
Mine is paradiddle, diddle 3/3s.
Oh, yeah.
And double flam drags. I love that.
If you put a 3 in anything, I like it.
Well, I'm starting a movement, and it's kind of already taken. I didn't start it, but I'm noticing it. Egg beaters and devil eggs. Egg beaters are also one of my favorite things in the world. Off the right, the left, switch hands. Nobody wrote them for a long time, and we're starting to see them written again for a couple of these seasons now, and I love every minute of it.
Yep.
Make egg beaters great again, everybody.
They're back.
It's a fast section.
Go 4A.
Yeah, this is jumping in the drum solo.
4A.
Yeah. So, did you always know that you wanted to start this with like an add-in, or?
Yeah. Once we picked the source material, which is a John Stathis tune,
4A all the way through.
tempo was fast, and then we kind of, I took a lot of inspiration from the 2003 Spin Cycle show. I want to say it's the second or third movement, where it starts with an individual snare drummer kind of moving through, and it just kept adding on. That was kind of the inspiration on how we wanted to start the tune. So it has a little bit of that feel, and that was the year they had those kind of like pieces of wood. I think XL made them, but they had pieces of wood on the side of the snare they kept playing on. So we didn't have that, but there's a couple side rim notes, a couple front rim notes. But yeah, we kind of knew that's how we wanted to get into this and have like a culminating thing. But we wanted this to just be just faster than anything anybody else is playing. That was kind of the thing. Like we wanted to do drill and we wanted to play fast. I wish that there was more of like a brain cell behind that, but that's really what we wanted to do was just play fast. And we wanted to play a shitload of flams.
Well,
yeah,
mission accomplished.
Yeah.
You all did move a lot. I actually had someone, a friend of mine, he's like, man, I haven't seen Cavaliers ensemble move this much in like over 20 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, Spin Cycle's also a great show.
Oh yeah.
And everybody loves flams.
Stairs first.
Good looking out.
Yeah.
As he stares, come on, Robert. Well, second rep, he'll look at the snare line.
I do too. Two guys adding on that flam 7 cold.
Yeah. Jeez, that is.
The presses is like a hiccup in the middle of the phrase.
Snuck the little, like, was that 5-let in there?
So yeah, they're triplets.
Triplets.
This is when they're up on the props.
Yeah. Huge spatial environment.
At 10 yards.
Jeez. 10 yards apart?
Yeah. A little more than that, the back row.
This feels Tom Monk's inspired with all the PDDs and paradiddles. Could also just be a result of the tempo.
Yeah, the speed. I mean, you're not. Once you get on a hand speed, you're not going to come off it that much. at that. But yeah, at the 230. And
Only
again, it was
certain
kind of
things
hard
work.
to do. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the quad thing. So like when we had them on the props, they were on. It was 3 in the back and 2 in the front, and it was on like almost a 45-degree angle. But the end 2 on the back were 10 yards apart. So each one was 5 yards, 5 yards apart. But because of the angle that they were on, it was a little more than 10 yards.
Yeah.
So them playing that together, that was the project for the whole season. They worked on that damn near every single day. And like playing it in this setting or playing it in a circle or whatever was completely pointless.
Right.
Because the second we got in the environment, and then not only that, we set them at these crazy intervals, and then we also had people running around them, and then people were moving the prop. They were twisting in the middle of it. They had to shift over to the front. I mean, it was like, you want to talk about environmental demand? There it is. That's on the sheet.
That's the picture in the guidebook or the explanation manual for environmental demand.
Yeah.
Hey, that's snare break.
On the daily hit list.
Hey, you guys know that snare break was damn good, right?
I swore right there, and Robert cut it out.
He didn't cut it out. You just heard damn.
No, I said a different
One
one.
more time.
Appreciate you. They played that snare break. It was great.
It was a good rep.
Yeah, the N2 guys both jump in the middle of when the whole snare line's playing. They jump in on a cold Flam 7. Yeah, chickadee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. And everybody, we got to lay off Tanner, man. He's not 40 years old.
I was gonna say, I do love how the internet was like, this guy has a mortgage and 2 kids.
He's not aged out yet. He's got another year.
Oh, dude, the internet jokes are going to be off the chart next year.
Lay off my guy, man. Come on.
I mean, the beard is legendary.
It is.
All right, we're going to get the whole thing. We'll back up a little bit. Yeah, that Flam 7.
It's good.
It is not bad.
Little face, the fake stroke there. Love running and gunning though.
This is just drum corps right here, honestly. Oh, the bass line right there.
Yeah. That's really good. That's really good.
Josh, that's really good.
You gotta let them know that when they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it off the list.
Confidence is
Yeah,
key at the
that was a
end.
big challenge. You know, that whole percussion break, all in 7/8, all at 230. I mean, we didn't back off the gas pedal for the drill or anything like that. I mean, the quads, bless them, you know, they deserve Purple Hearts for what they went through getting that quad break together.
It's a pretty.
It was hard.
It's a pretty young group, like on the aggregate too, right?
Yeah, guy on the left end of the snare line, 16. Third bass drummer, 16.
Jeez.
Good lord.
I mean, we only had one age out in the snare line, and we have a vet from 24 who's going to come back. Scott, I know you're listening. You better be there. So we have potential. We can bring back 3 quads. So we have potential to bring back a lot of people. Now we know how it goes. You know, drum corps is expensive and it's hard to do, and you know,
Life
but
happens.
you know, a lot of potential we could bring back, and you know, an 8 vet snare line. You know, be auditioning for 1 or 2 people or whatever. And they're good, man. I like that you guys pointed out that you saw how much they got better throughout the summer.
Dude, it was.
I mean, they're young, you know.
And again, I want to make clear, I'm not saying you all were bad. For the internet, for everybody, like, it was one of those things where I got to see you all live in person at the very beginning, and then I saw you all live twice the last 2 days. I was like, wow, this is a testament to what this activity, just hard work and day in and day out. You know, the junkyard dogs, it's like it's the thing. Just show up to work, make your lunch.
There's no like secret sauce. There's no magic fairy dust. It's just, I mean, you just got to show up and work every day, you know, and that's something that we do. Like, you know, like sometimes you can call our operation a little dumb sometimes. You know, we're not out there like applying the most advanced rehearsal concepts and philosophies. We just do the old classic reset. Let's do it again. You know, like that's just kind of how we do things. It's very blue collar. Because that's it works. And I'm sure there are other ways. You know, I know you can go watch other rehearsals where people, you know, they talk a lot and there's a lot of time in between reps. I mean, we're pretty quick. You know, here's a 1-sentence bit of information. Reset. We probably log more reps than most people. You know, I just don't know any other way to do it.
Long's way. Reset, add a set.
Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Reset, add a set.
I've told this story before, and I'm not getting fully into it. Atlanta Regional 2010, Tom came out after lunch for battery sectionals on the field. We saw his shirt come off, and it was 3 hours of reset, add a set on the hardest part of the show. And it was just, but we got better. We weren't afraid of the drill anymore. We're more confident afterwards. Sometimes less is more in terms of talking as an instructor. Sometimes if the kids are smart, they've already been given the information. They just need reps to figure it out and try and get it right.
And it's like facing any fear that you have in life. You know, when you first got your driver's license, you were afraid to drive on the freeway. The only way to conquer that is go drive on the freeway.
Yep.
You know, you want to be able to bench 250 pounds, you got to be able to put 250 pounds on the bar. You know, you just got to go do it. You know, and I think a lot of times, like when we're taking this drum solo, for example, and like the drill, most of the, you know, like the Rhythm X guys, we did 240 in the winter season, but for most people, you know, 90% of our drumline, that's the fastest tempo they've went by probably 30 clicks.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those, well, we just got to do it. Like you got to get comfortable with it. So yeah, that's our secret sauce is just reset and do it again.
Yeah.
You know, just keep working on it. You don't have to be good at what you're doing. You just got to put a lot of effort into it, and eventually you'll get good at it.
Yeah.
A lot to be said for
that. You can do a lot with effort.
Yep. All right, there's one more rep in this video. I think it might be the same phrase. We'll watch it again, different angle.
It's probably there's a.
Oh, is there another phrase after this?
129 to the end.
Yeah, we got the closer.
My bad. I stand corrected.
To the end.
Got the forlets in here.
Can't miss the forlets.
That's right.
Great finish on the Spock there after the AB split. Well, the speech, the gear shift back and forth.
Yeah. Into the speed box. Oh yeah, basically going nuts underneath.
Flams for days.
So is that one you just kind of like figured out hacking around and it's like, I'm going to use this one day.
You know, we had a little bit of percussion windows at the end of a tempo change. So we did a little cello rondo and the eighth note builds in, it speeds up. And I was like, okay, what do I want the part to be? And I really got stuck on this idea of seeing a right hand motion that constantly changes and keeping the left hand out of it. So the idea that I call them 3-1, flam 3-1, and then put those into the egg beaters. So you're just seeing this right hand motion moving all the way through. That was kind of the genesis of that whole idea. And it was something like I was writing it one day, a little before spring training, and I was literally texting, or I was messaging the snare line, and I was just sending screenshots. I'm like, hey, try this. Hey, try this. You know, somebody send me a video of you two and this. Is this too hard? You know, I was trying to find that limit of how we could push our hands but not be too much. But that is insane. Anybody that thinks that that's not difficult, send me a video. I'd love to see it. But the 16 note, the 4-lit 4-3 slam 3 ones into the 16th note. So chugga-ticka, like that gear shift in your right hand is tough. And then it goes right into egg beaters on the right hand. I mean, that's just that right hand. Those pressure changes are really difficult.
All right, I restarted this phrase because I was texting my brother and didn't pause it when you were talking because he was stomping around.
We're doing.
So he has like 30 years left of drum corps, basically.
Doing a basic solo this year.
For high school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the
So
bass
cool.
drums play underneath, that's really cool too.
I'm going to pause and back up because I wasn't paying
Yeah,
attention
let's
to
go
the
to the
bass
bass
line.
drums, yeah.
I think I'm not far enough.
They play the same thing. It's like in it like up the drums and then like bass one's playing the
Yeah, bass one plays the 4 lets, chugga-ticka, and then every 16 goes straight up the drum.
Oh,
And then when they get to the egg beaters, it splits on the top 2.
all right, well. Did I go back far enough?
Yeah. There it is.
Damn, that's so cool.
I love this chunk of the show.
How could you not?
They didn't
Flams
take
and
that- they didn't
threes.
take the triple that time.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
There's
I
so
mean,
much. Go ahead, Evan.
I was just gonna say too. I think the biggest takeaway to full circle was just coming back to where you said at the beginning, like writing what you wanted to hear, like stuff that excites you and makes you like. Even now, just watching it, rewatching it, you can tell you're just like, man, this is like I like
That's
this. Like, so I think that that's important for arrangers and stuff and designers, and I'm sure it's easy to think about the competitive aspect and like what other people will think, but
Well,
I mean-
Sure.
what did Joe Hobbs tell us? We were talking to him last night about what Casella told him when he called him going into this season or going into writing Crown stuff. He was just like, Casella apparently told him, like, if you're writing something and it's making you smile as you're writing, playing it, keep going down that avenue. Keep exploring. Do more of that. So
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's ultimately about them. You know, they want to feel cool playing stuff. You know, like I can write something that's super selfish, something that I really enjoy, or you know, kind of think sometimes we get, you know, we like to, you know, consider ourselves a bunch of maestros and, you know, like really kind of artsy fartsy a little too much sometimes, and like I want those guys to enjoy what they're playing. You know, so there was a lot of, like I said, I go that 4-let lick. There was a lot of like, hey, do you guys like this? You know, what about this? And we would go back and forth. They would give me ideas, and then I would, you know, sketch it out and I'd send it back. What about this? And we ultimately, it was kind of a, I wouldn't call it a group effort, but it certainly wasn't my effort. Because ultimately, those guys want to, you know, they're paying the money. They're the ones that are out there running around the field, you know. They want to feel cool with what they're playing, and that was a big thing for me. Is I want these guys to feel cool being in the Cavaliers. I mean, I think a really special thing that we have at Cavaliers is like the group is close.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I you know, I want to maintain that, but you know, 100%. And part of that is like it's a responsibility on me. Like the culture's got to be right. The notes that they're playing have got to be things they want to play. They got to be excited about it. I mean, I said at the end of that video, like, man, I miss these guys. I really do. I mean, they were a really good group. They worked hard. So to see where they got at the end of the season, like, I was really, really proud of them.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, freaking awesome. Enjoyed it the whole year.
You know, happy for you, obviously, as well. It's very clear that you were taking the weight of the program into consideration. And I think you guys nailed it. Year one of Brickey Allman iteration for Cavaliers will go down in the history books as a success to me. So,
hey,
Yep.
I'll take it. It's just the beginning of this year too.
Well, we're going to have 95% of them back next season, so
Hopefully, man.
fingers crossed. Yeah, man, that would be so awesome.
yeah.
Sky's the limit at that point.
Yeah, I mean, we're going for it all if that's the case.
Yeah,
We're
definitely.
not pulling any punches, man.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they're a good group, man. Like they were fun to teach. The summer was great. We had our bumpy roads. The summer of 23, summer of 24. I mean, you can't get much more polar opposite than that. As far as the member experience and the staff experience. And this was, in my time at Cavaliers, this was my favorite summer. Just the team I was working with, from the design team to the percussion team, the quality of guys that we had, the tour, everything. It was a hot summer, but we toured pretty well. I liked the shows. I enjoyed the show we designed. I mean, it was just a really enjoyable summer.
I mean, that's important too, because what is it that I don't know what the saying is, but a lot of times people don't remember. They don't remember the beats. They don't remember everything that happened and every little nuance of summer, but they remember how they felt.
100%.
They remember the time they had. They remember their friends. So
Yep.
obviously,
Yeah, I can
love
tell you
when guys
every
play
Jared
clean.
Thomas story that exists. I can tell you all of them.
Yeah.
I remember everything that happened, my friends, the people I was with. I remember all that stuff.
Yeah.
Do I remember what the temperature was in Dubuque, Iowa? No, not really.
And you'll remember that, and they'll remember that they played great and they achieved greatness.
Yep.
And that's they won't remember the beats, but they'll be like, yeah, we were good.
Yeah.
Yep. There it is. Honestly, I can't think of a better way to end a podcast. Unless you guys have something else you want to touch on. It's a pretty nice little bow on top of. Just tie the bow off and move on.
No, I think I'm good. Unless you have anything else, I guess auditions. How people, if they want to be a Cavalier 2026, what can they do?
Yeah, I mean, we got to iron all those details out, but what I think we have probably the most stress-free and the cheapest audition process that's out there. We typically do all video auditions, and that's how you earn it. Those will be out, I would assume around November-ish. You'll get details and all that, but then submit a video and you earn a callback based on that. You have to go to one camp in January. We do one live camp. We set the line at that camp, and then we just do video stuff until after the WGI season. So we have about the most stress-free and easiest audition process. We don't ask you to go to a bunch of camps and all that stuff. So,
Expensive.
Yeah.
Well, they're expensive. We're trying to save everybody some money on flights and all that stuff. And we understand almost all of our guys are doing WGI, so we know you're getting better on the weekends. We're not going to try to be overbearing in the audition process. So, if you want to march and you're looking for a pretty stress-free environment, you want to play some cool stuff, hopefully you think so, that information will be out soon.
All right. There you go. Everybody, comment, like, subscribe, share the video, podcast services, YouTube, links to support us in the description. I can't talk anymore after an hour of fun. So we'll see everybody in the next one.